Welcome to our Component Spotlight video. In this Component Spotlight, I'm going to be breaking down the horizontal arrangement component for you. So our horizontal arrangement component can be found in the layout section of our palette. I'm going to drop that in place now. So what does our horizontal arrangement do? Essentially, our horizontal arrangement component allows us to arrange our components horizontally, right? So side by side. So let me give you a demonstration. I'm going to drop a button in that horizontal arrangement. Now I'm going to drop another button in our horizontal arrangement, and you'll notice that they go side by side, as opposed to if we just dropped them in our main viewer, they would go vertical, right? So it just allows us to arrange our components side by side. And just to kind of hammer home that point, I could have, also done a label. It's any component. So if I dropped a label in here, you'll notice that they're side by side. Great. So now let's go over some properties. So I'm going to leave that button in there just for demonstration purposes. Actually, I'll leave two buttons in there just for demonstration purposes. And I'm going to go to the properties. I'm actually going to be breaking down all these properties because they're all pretty important and they could be a little confusing. So the first two I'm going to go over are our height and our width. So if our height and our width are set to automatic for our horizontal arrangement, it's going to do its best to fit our horizontal arrangement to whatever components lie inside, right? So you'll notice that it is perfectly around both of our buttons because it's set to automatic, right? Let's go over another one. So if we did fill parent, what it would do is, if for our height in this case, it would fill whatever our parent component is. In this case, our parent component is our screen, right? So if we said fill parent, you'll notice that it fills all of our screen's height. If we did the same thing for width, it fills all of our screen's width. Great, so that is our fill parent. Now let's go over our pixels. So our pixels essentially allows us to designate an exact amount of pixels we want our horizontal arrangement to be, regardless of what's inside. So if I said, let's say 20 pixels by 20 pixels, it doesn't care what's in there, right? It's going to be 20 pixels by 20 pixels, right? So you'll notice if I pull up on my phone, we can barely see our buttons. And that's because, like I said, when we do pixels, it's just going to set it and it's not going to care about what's inside. Great. So percent is going to set our height or our width to the percentage of our screen. So for our height, if we put 50, it's going to be 50% of the height of our screen. If we did, 50% of our width, it would be 50% of the width of our screen. So, right, so far so good. 50%, 50%. So if I did, 100% for our width and 50% for our height, you'll notice that, it's taking up all of the width and half of the height. Great, so now that we have those nailed down, our background color and our image are pretty self-explanatory. Image allows us to set an image as the background. Background color allows us to change the background color of our horizontal arrangement. Our align horizontal and align vertical allows us to align our components inside of our horizontal arrangement. So left top, you'll notice they're at the left top. If I said center top, you'll notice they're doing that. If I did, right top, so on and so forth, right? I can kind of say center, center. I could do right bottom, and you'll notice if I pull up on my phone, they're going to be doing exactly what I tell them to do, right? So for our blocks, we actually have no noteworthy blocks. These are all setters and getters for our property. That's going to conclude our component spotlight on our horizontal arrangement, guys. I'll see you in the next video.